Movie review of My Mother's Daughter, with screenplay written by Uche. This movie, titled My Mother's Daughter, is directed by Uche Jombo, also starring as Zoe. Produced by Esther Acapo and executively produced by Uche Jombo herself. The movie is currently available for streaming on the latter's YouTube channel with same name. Synopsis may contain spoilers. Zoe Uche Jombo is a single mother to a teenage daughter, Annabelle Thaddeus, while Zoe, despite having a first degree in law, tirelessly works as a self-employed brand strategist. Her relationship with her mother, Nana Joke Silva, particularly needed some rebranding, as the duo have a rather distastefully strained relationship, with Maya constantly left on her own to the whims and caprices of external influences. She begins to appear to rebel, much to the dismay, displeasure, or disappointment of her own mother, Zoe. Maya would in turn seek solace in her Nana, as everything then goes south, with the past revisiting the present. How did all these unfold? What are the consequences? My take: what a drama. This is by far one of the best three-generational trio of grandmother, mother, daughter casting I've seen in a while. What? The uncanny resemblance between all three ladies is unreal. What are the odds that they aren't even biologically related in real life? Because why? The story, plot, and delivery were seamlessly executed. All the actors understood their assignment, ate and left no crumbs. Pleased to see the outcome of Maya's away from the stereotypical portrayal of children raised by single parents, mothers in recent times. That was refreshingly encouraging and reassuring. This movie was enlightening and educational, as it disabuses people's minds from the narrative or prejudice centered around single mothers. The movie also addresses trauma and how these inform individuals' decisions in life. Love the makeup, interior decor, location, and costumes. Be that as it may, as with everything else under the sun, this isn't about to be the most perfect movie yet. My observation and questions: 1. The audio seemed to have been indecisive, what setting to settle for in some instances. There was a lot of background noise here and there. 2. The editing, especially in terms of transitions from scene to scene, was a huge challenge from start to finish as per post-production. This then made the viewing experience somewhat laden with hiccups, if you know what I mean. 3. Furthermore, the jumbo-sized Jombo TV watermark was a source of distraction for a viewer like myself. Not sure if the bigger the watermark, the more protected the intellectual property would be in scaring away copyright thieves. I've always preached modesty or simplicity in that regard. To me, sometimes, little is much, but what do I know? 4. Although veteran actress Joke Silva held her own, as per character interpretation couldn't get enough of her acting dexterity, to be honest, but at some point I became vexed, as it was getting almost unbelievably upsetting. I really want to believe that there are worse mothers in reality. The question is just how much traumatized people are out there by virtue of being raised by people who are themselves broken pieces. 5. I was genuinely hoping for a backstory on Nana. What informed her way of life or style of parenting? Her own childhood trauma and illness? Or did her disdain for her daughter just stem from her several losses? A little more depth into her character would have sufficed, as duration was in favor of the movie. There was ample time to have given us more insight on that, right? 6. Now, there were two major twists in this movie. While I won't go into details of either so as not to ruin the juicy experience for those who are yet to see it, I want to state that there was a missed opportunity here to have highlighted a core mental health issue that affects people of certain ages. Was Nana also experiencing dementia or just hallucinating? That was rather rushed or brushed off or wasn't sufficiently explored. 7. When the cat was let out of the bag, I didn't get enough of how much reaction I wanted to see from Nana. That aspect again was rushed off. 8. What became of Uncle Gideon, portrayed by Tony Akposheri, who, by the way, we were told was running away from his bad wife? Is he still on the run? Did I miss something? What punishment was meted out on him? 9. How old is Maya? At some point, we're made to understand that her mom had her just around same age of 18. Does this mean she's 18? At other times, she's passed off as way younger, to which she looks the part more. Moreso, there were talks of summer camp, meaning she was still in secondary school. So, again, I ask, precisely how old is Maya? 15, 16, 17. I guess I missed it. Someone please help. Conclusively, the message here was passed crisp and clear, and that is to the effect that 1. The words we speak to our children are like seeds we plant. They'll germinate one way or another and bear forth fruits in diverse ways. 2. Having a listening ear to our children as a parent, no matter how busy we are, goes a long way to build their confidence in telling us whatever bothers them. This is seen in Maya and Zoe's relationship. Another great lesson is 3. We should be intentional about breaking the circle of trauma so we don't inadvertently pass ours to our innocent children. With an impressive runtime, this was enjoyable, relatable, relaxing, and entertaining to watch. I particularly appreciate the fact that there were no exchange of saliva here as per necessary kissing. Hence, this movie can be watched with kids in the vicinity. Have you seen this? What did you think? For numbers 4 and 6, it's important to consider that Nana was grieving not just the loss of her husband, but also her son. Grief, when left unprocessed, can manifest in many destructive ways. In Nana's case, she projected her pain onto Zoe, using her as a scapegoat for the overwhelming sorrow she couldn't handle. Rather than confronting her own heartbreak, Nana channeled it into blame, making Zoe a symbol of all that she had lost. True. But the aspect of speaking about Daniel in the present tense, was that dementia unfolding or another form of mental illness? She seemed to have been deliberately doing what she was doing to Zoe. I really didn't feel her remorse later on, to be honest. I would say that is denial and unresolved grief. She hasn't accepted the fact that Daniel has passed. As a mental health professional, that isn't just an outright sickness, except, of course, it lingers for long. Healing resisted, then exploring mental health professional would be an option. For Nana, she was grieving and just didn't grieve well or enough. Loved the movie and will rate it a solid 7/10. I like the fact that it swayed away from the regular Nollywood where if one is from a dysfunctional home, another dysfunctional home chokes from them. I like that Zoe was a healed, intentional woman who wanted to do better even though she didn't get or see better growing up. This shows that we always have a choice to make, and the fact that one is coming from a dysfunctional family doesn't mean a dysfunctional one must come out of you. You can turn your lemons into lemonade, but it entails a lot of work which one must embrace. 5. Nana's disdain for her daughter stemmed from the grief from her numerous losses and the pregnancy that followed. That was why everything made sense to her when the truth about Maya paternity came to light. The movie is one of the best I've seen recently, mature, relatable, and educative. I was shocked to discover Uncle Gideon is Maya's father. That part got me. Nana's case was so relatable because I have seen someone like that. I agree that Nana's remorse was not remorseful enough to me because that woman did too much. The movie is one of the best I've seen recently, mature, relatable, and educative. I was shocked to discover Uncle Gideon is Maya's father. That part got me. Nana's case was so relatable because I have seen someone like that. I agree that Nana's remorse was not remorseful enough to me because that woman did too much. Almost same story as Balaji's Ashabi's child, just that rape was involved in Balaji's story. Oluchi Precious, it was the same story, but they took different directions. Same rape here too, but they addressed it a different way. One was intentional to be a better parent, while the other didn't know better so didn't do better because she hasn't healed. I rate this 7/10.